Morning, everybody. You can see the bird here with the little beak. Have it zoomed in very close for us here. You can see the color, the red on there, and you can see the eye. You see how the eye is painted in? The little circle right up there. And I can make that beak disappear and then pop the beak back out. That's the way that the art works here. I'm going to zoom us back out. I'll show you that this is on a large spear point. These spear points are decorated as ceremonial pieces. And I'm going to show you several different images. We've looked at these spear points before in an earlier video. We're going to be looking at some different versions of these, some of these portraits of humans that are on these stones here. I'm getting these in the right light and the right shadows. We'll be able to see some more of the details that I've drawn there below for us. Get a good look at this. You can see how the carvings for the eyes and the nose and the chin coming out here. It has like an interior section and an exterior section. Kind of get us down here so you can kind of give it a good look with the drawn out picture there. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm going to take a look at a few of these with you today. I appreciate you guys joining me for this research. We have several of these little characters here that I kind of wanted to focus on this time. You can see the square dugout eye. You can see the little ripples in here for perhaps the mouth. There's also different portraits here on the top as well. But I'm getting a little bit off topic. What I really want to show you are these repeating birds that are on the ends of these. Here's another spear point that's placed now as a ceremonial piece, and the bird is to the left this time. So you can see the beak here and the carving for the eye. See the little diamond shape with the spot in the middle of it. And as we tilt it, it'll become a little more lifelike. You can see how they left the green on this shirt. And a lot of times they'll put that tail. You can see how the wing comes down here on this spear point here. And let me show you a very similar one on this one here. We can see the black painted in eye. See it right there with its beak. This one still has some algae on it. You can see how the bird head there with the recession for the beak, the triangle, the eye. And if you look closely, you can see the wing for this as well. And then that tail has that same ripple there. There we go. I'll give you guys a good look at this one. Okay, so let's look at just a few of these kind of quickly. I'll take a quick scan with them. So the face is just in here. There's also other portraits and things, but just kind of showing you how these little headdress people kind of repeat over and over again. They have like little helmets on. These may have been of the conquistadors. You can see how the white, the color for the mohawk here on this character. Some of these come from different times and from different people. This is a metal magnetic piece. I did have my magnet right here, but I guess you just have to take my word for it. It is indeed magnetic. Several of these are. But you can see how this is a metal as well. So you can see how it's just a little portrait of a face in here. It's a smashed piece of metal. Who knows how old this thing is. So it's not a very good face, so to speak. But upside down, it makes more of like a Fred Flintstone round nose. You can see the carvings in there for the eyes. See how the hair comes down? May have a bird on the head. As I see the eye for the bird right there. And there's a portrait facing to the left as well. Very neat one. Let's take a look at this little one. It's another unique one. This one has a hole through it. And actually in that hole, it has a little tiny grain of sand as well for a pupil. Unless it's fallen out of there. It may have gone. But it's not just this little face here. There's also upside down. You can see how the carving for the eye is right there. You see the little circle and the little lines coming out from it. And you can see now he's just like a little laughing face character. Pretty interesting. This is a piece of pottery or like a clay of some sort. You can see it is also using that hole there for an eye. I really do like these pottery pieces. They're really neat. So let's go ahead and take a few more looks at some of these other spear points. So these big diamonds here, you're seeing chiseled out. Kind of similar to this one, except this one goes all the way down. This one's more of an all tucked in version. You can see how the diamond here is showing up as well in this spear point. Just about on every single one of these, on the ends of them, they're going to have that bird. Like we saw right at the very beginning, this bird here. With this one, we have a portrait just on the very bottom section here with the nose and the mouth and the eye. And then again, I'll show you here. See the big extravagant headdress. You see the cheekbone. It is an old spear point, so you can see how it is an old tool. I can show you some of the edges on some more of these. There we go. Sorry about that. Just kind of trying to give you a good look at this portrait. The eye right here. You can really see that eye coming out. See the white eye? Just the small little face right in this one section. The rest of this big headdress. So the bird on this one is right here. You can see how it is just a long duck head. You see how this section is white. So you can kind of point him like this perhaps to make him turn into that duck head. Maybe even the neck and everything. Let's go ahead and take a look at this spear point here real quick. There's another one. Can't really give you a good edge look on this one. There's a few of them that do have some flint napping, but again, on the very end of this one, you can see how the beak for the bird, you see the little carvings for the eye right there. If you look into the light, you can really see the carvings there. Fortunately, I'm losing the sun, but you can see how this is just the bird pointing like this with the beak here and the body of the bird. You can see the carvings for the eye. So on just about every one of these spear points on the ends of them, we have this bird repeating. This one does have, this spear point here has a pretty good edge on it. So you arrowhead guys can take a look at perhaps what you might see as tool marks. I see a lot of diamonds and lines and things through here. Lots of carvings and things. It's very neat stone. It's really neat to be holding something that could be very, very, very old. Passed down from generation to generation. Here are some other little points. These have faces on them as well. I don't know exactly where the bird is for this one. I'm pretty sure that it's this one right here. You can see the orange. See how the circle is right there? That's the bird's eye right there. Not the same exact style as what I normally find around, but there are some different types. So you can see how this is just the bird here. Let's take a look at one more of these. This one here. This one has some really nifty portraits on it. And also on the very end of it, it's going to represent a bird. Let's go ahead and get it into the shade maybe this time. So you can see how it's just a silhouette of a bird there. When I first found out about the art, it was all about the birds. That's all that I thought that there were. And that's much easier to get your head wrapped around. It's much easier to believe that people created images of birds. It's not as easy to believe that they did this, but when you can see that with your own eyes, you see these carvings, see these lines coming out for the eye. There's a little eye in here of a character. You can see how when I tilt it, those shadows, it almost looks like a sun. Do you see that? Right here in just this one section. That's the eye, the nose, and of course the mouth. So you can see how this is just a character here. When we flip it upside down, it's also going to have another portrait with another eye. It's a really neat style of art. We looked at this in the black light. This has a lot to show in the black light, but you can start to see that same diamond that we're seeing in some of the other artifacts here. This one has a very awesome defined eye in it. And you can see it, of course, right there. That's just one of the eyes. You can see how the nose, and then you'll just get a little ripple. Look at these circles here. You see how this is a tall headdress person. It's a very neat one. Looking for the bird on the end of this one. I'm sure it's supposed to be represented perhaps this way. Yep, so you can see how the head gets very round and you see how the beak pops out. This is representing the bird. That's how detailed these are. Every single one of them will be the same. When you start finding, you know, bird stones that have birds on them over and over and over again, all from the same spot, you start to pick up on it. It takes a little while, but it's kind of frustrating to try to convince you guys of this because, I mean, come on. You can see the eye right here, the beak of the full bird, right? So it does kind of get a little frustrating, so I'm trying to do my best to show you guys everything that I can and try to be as clear as I can with everything. You can see that there's just a little cardinal printed on the end of this piece of crystal. I really like this. There's the beak, 1 foot, 2 foot, and you see how they use the natural inclusions of the stone for the tail. You see the eye for the bird here. He's right there. It's a very pretty one. Give you a shot of that tail. Sorry about the fly. The doors open earlier. Okay, guys, I don't know if there's a whole lot more to show. We can go ahead and go deep with some of these. So if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you subscribe so that whenever I do post other videos, you'll be able to see them. Okay, have a wonderful one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.